Hello and welcome everybody, I am One Proud Barbarian, and today we shall continue a playthrough that already has yielded so many different designs, so many different topics of history, and of course a beautiful, beautiful Manor Lords map. We are looking at the fortification and of course the entire iron industry that lies behind it. This right here is a beautiful trade hub that we created over the last couple of episodes, and today we will finally move on from this region. You can see right here that Eisenkirchen is finished, it is stable, we're producing both enough food and of course enough fuel. I also think that we are also producing enough leather and we are trading for linen, of course, with our friends over here in, well, the main area. Today we are going to move on, and originally I only wanted to do Valbrun today, but I think we're actually going to be settling two territories at once in a very, very similar style. That will be Ainou and Valbrun. Both of these will be settled in a way where we will not have any actual village. That means it is all just kind of lone farmsteads, obviously that has a really, really big historical background, and we're going to make it so that these locations both specialize in forestry. If we take a look at this, right, what we will be interested in here, I think, is beekeeping, advanced beekeeping, and then whatever else we can pick up. Per region, we're probably not going to get more than, 3 perks, so I think it's going to be these. We're going to see how it goes. All in all, I guess what I'm saying is, we are going to make these into the backyard of our territory. Now, before we continue with the first topic of history, of course, here, I would like to bring one thing up, and that is that I am very close to 100,000 subscribers on the channel, which is a huge milestone for me. If you want to support that, then make sure that you are subscribed so that you can be in the sub 100k sub club. Alright, but all of that aside, there is a little tidbit that I would like to talk about, because it is a different approach from what we had when we did our very first Manor Lords campaign. Remember, we started here in Nusslohe. Of course, we created our beautiful Rundling down here, and then an Angerdorf all the way over there, but we also actually focused with the main fortification, which means this was the central area until, since we already had this fortification, we moved a main Haufendorf all the way over here that then became our central seat of power in the region. Now, in this playthrough, things are very different. Obviously, the resource distribution is different, and obviously our starting position is different. This time around, we have built essentially just along this river. I bring this up because that is just sometimes how history works. You start out somewhere and that gives you an inherent advantage. Now, long term, maybe the stream is actually going to lose importance. Maybe this territory here will stop being vital because other territories, for example, can produce, be it clay or be it iron much more cheaply. That stuff happens. My favorite case to really illustrate this is the town of Amalfi. You might have heard of this if you've played Crusader Kings, mostly Crusader Kings 2. I don't think it plays a big role in 3 at all so far. Amalfi was a very important city, very much close to Naples, and it dominated the trade in starting around 850 all the way up to 1100. And then it suddenly fell off. And the answer here is pretty simple, right? As much as this outpost is currently important, maybe in the future that will change. Maybe in the future, this will no longer really be an interesting position to trade through. Amalfi was at the kind of border point between the Muslim and the Christian world, and they facilitated trade between them. They traded with Tunisia, so with the Fatimids when they were still living there. They also traded with the Sicilian Muslims and the South Italian Muslims. They also traded with the Byzantines, with the Iberians, with the Germans to the north, and so on. But at some point, things simply changed. Yes, the geographical distribution of cities and where Amalfi was incredibly important to get it started, but well, at some point, the North Italian communes got stronger, more powerful, and richer, and everything north of the Alps also actually became more centralized and more powerful before, of course, deteriorating into the Holy Roman Empire mess that we know and love it for. I am talking about cities such as Venice, cities such as Pisa and Genoa being far more prosperous in the later period of the Middle Ages, just because their location would ultimately be better for where the centers of power and industry had moved. My point is, currently, in how we are building it, everything along this river is the most important element of our economy and of this region. Had we started somewhere else, maybe this would have been important. Maybe this is going to be important in the long time, but the way we are building this right now will only really take care of, well, imagine this is Amalfi, right? We're going to build it in that fashion. And my idea for Valbrun and Ainou is indeed that despite being incredibly good territory, I mean, look at that, currently they don't have any utilization. Currently they don't have anybody passing through. There's no need for any trader to walk this route if you could just walk along the stream, be protected, and everything will be fine. So we're going to set this up in a way where we will only have a few settlers that later on can morph into villages and even cities if, for example, another trade hub opens up in Nuslor or maybe down here in Immenreuth. I want to bring this up because we're building these cities, of course, as a snapshot in history. I'm building these and then they will stay exactly the way they are, but I want you to imagine that Valbrun right now, with the first settlers, will be relatively poor, will be relatively isolated, and yet long-term, this may yet become something that even overtakes the prosperity of our northern territories. Alright, but enough about geographical determinism. It, of course, isn't everything. There are far more factors involved here. I need to go ahead and actually start taxing folks here so that we can have the money that will be necessary to, well, you know, actually settle these territories. I want to settle them all at once. And like I said, we're not really going to upgrade anything. I will have to build a church in both of them, just so that we can actually secure 3 points, because we do need level 2 houses, and, well, those do need a church. But I do want to keep it very, very isolated here and only kind of lay the groundwork, lay the seeds for the potential where eventually maybe these become very, very rich regions. Right now, you can see it right here, they are completely separated from, well, the main area, and there's not really a need to push in here since we are producing as much food as we actually are. I think in this video we're also going to conquer every territory except Nuslor. I hope at least that we can get that done. My worry is that until I actually build up the individual retinues everywhere, we might not be able to defeat the last army of the Barons, so I want to save that one for when I've built up, you know, at least 1 level of retinue in each of these regions right here. Somebody pointed out, and I didn't know this, that is super interesting, if these units right here are in a fight and they actually rout, the result is that they don't technically count as units, and I could recruit more, which means that if I send these into a battle individually where they will lose, I could have more units. I don't think I'm going to do this, but it's a really good lesson, you know, for the future going forward. And oh my god, 20%, yep, of 18k, we just made $4,000. Very, very nice. Let us actually start building. Actually, we're going to start building here in March. I like building, you know, start building when we are in spring. And while we're talking about that, I'm also going to go ahead and take this territory right here before we do anything else. Somebody rightly pointed out, hey, wait a minute, shouldn't you be going to war only during summer? And, well, yes, the answer is that is completely true. We should never really go campaign anywhere, especially the free-man armies of the Charlemagne area, so very, very early on into the Middle Ages. Especially that era was essentially one where you would only fight in the summer, you would go campaign, you would call all of the freemen to indeed fight, because, well, they aren't busy, you know, they will be home for harvest, that is the whole idea there. But we're not doing that because, well, that's just not really a mechanic right now. And most importantly, our paths are so short. Most of the time, obviously, you wouldn't go to war in winter because supplies are so bad. But we really just, like, come together once for, like, 1 day and then we go in there and fight. You know, it's there's just not really a very long campaign going on there. I would like it if eventually to have an impact on how much workforce we have and how easy it will be for us to actually work the fields. If the king said, you need to lend me 30 of your men, you equip them and then they need to go campaign with me because, well, that will be a far-reaching campaign rather than, you know, us having some neighborhood skirmishes here. Alright, but anyway, let's go and claim Ainou. How are we doing here, by the way? Oh, I have so much influence. It will not be an issue whatsoever. I also reckon that he's only going to bring like a couple of troops and then we should all be golden. Oh, I am already in the battle sphere. Okay, let's position ourselves right here. We're going to do the very, very classic strategy of I will put these archers in the front and then they're gonna do the dying and I will be doing the killing. And as per usual, they fall right into a trap. They go for the center here. And like I said, I'm just gonna reinforce the archers with my spear militia. And then we're going to run around and just completely eviscerate them. I really love that the AI goes, I need to go around. Oh, they actually killed one of mine. No way. I think they killed a retinue soldier. Didn't we have 24? These archers actually got a kill. I can hardly believe it. Maybe I just misread that as well. Maybe they didn't get a kill in the first place. But you know what? I like the illusion there that archers can actually kill people. Now that's the dream. But anyway, the fight is over. We have won. And the entire area right here now belongs to us. And now, we shall settle Ainou and Valbrun. Let's even examine what is happening here. Honestly, you can have a couple of fields. I mean, I'm going to give all of these fields. We're obviously going to have a forest economy, but at the same time, all of these lone farmsteads will definitely have some fields attached. Now, like I said, this is an amazing location here in Valbrun. It's just so isolated that currently it won't be settled. This is something for a second or third wave of settlement right here, you know. Right now, this is just not in the center of our economic ambitions, and we are producing enough food as is, so there's not really a need to push for another settlement right here. Alright, and there you go. It is March. We're gonna settle these simultaneously, like I said. First, let's put down a settlers camp. I think, yeah, we want this here. You'd also do, of course, in this region, have this ruin of a windmill. Maybe that is where we're gonna place the new central windmill of this location, just to rebuild this. I assume that this fell into disarray when bandits burned everything down. But now we've cleared the area, we have taken control, and while this will now merely be a backwater, at the same time, at least we are settling it again. You know what, let's put the camp right here, actually. And we're going to give this, of course, the maximum amount of money. And we're going to be doing the same right over here. Where will I put this? You know what, let me actually double-check the pathways here. I am okay with all these paths. I know for a fact that, yeah, this is really weird. I hate this. Now that we've conquered all of this, I can actually stretch this path all the way over here. And notice that ages ago, and it super annoyed me. Oh, and it does also mean... Wait, let me double check this, right? I pulled a path way back when, like ages ago. I think it ends right there, right? Yeah, there it is. We're going to move this path along this ridge, much like we've done it so far. There you go. We're going to follow exactly the elevation lines here. And then that is going to eventually cut into this path. There we go. Oh, I like that. Okay, so you can already see it right here. Our infrastructure goes only along this river, which is why these are such backwaters. We have very strong forests dividing us from, you know, dividing these two regions. Whereas here in this territory, we are still very much adjacent to the river. So this is going to see some centralization, but that is something for a future video. For the time being, right, I need to put down where we settle here. And I think I'm just going to put it at the end of this road. That seems pretty reasonable to me. We're going to obviously give you the most money as well. And now I just need to start setting up, you know, the actual production for both of these regions in one go. Let's start over here with Valbrun. And by the way, if you have some naming ideas, then definitely give me a shout so that I can also, you know, take that into consideration. What are we going to do here in terms of forestry? I think I'm going to go ahead and immediately start using the forester's hut. We are so few and far between. I don't want to push the forest back at all. I just want to, you know, harvest some of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to place the forester in roughly this area. Immediately with this forester's hut, of course, attached as well. I need to remember, none of these are going to have charcoal kilns. That's going to be very important because that means... yeah, we're going to effectively have one central region here where we do all of our forestry work, including, of course, the woodcutter's lodge. I might need 2 foresters, but listen, we'll figure that out as we go. Obviously, a saw pit will be good as well. I think I'm going to move most of these locations right here. Don't worry too much about the positioning of these in particular yet. We're just setting up the village. Right, so that is our forest stuff. We do need a hunting camp, and that can go here. That is just... oh, that is beautiful. That is so available. And then, of course, we need a forager's hut, which needs to go over here. Let's put that into the forest as well. Trying to not uproot any trees. There you go. I always need to kind of recapitulate this, right? To start a settlement on challenging and get migration, you need a church, you need leather, you need 2 types of food. So that is berries and this, which only means now I will need a tannery. If we take a look at this region, so we clearly have the main kind of takeaway of our forest area here, because that is where the animals, where the berries are, and then we also cut down the trees right here. I think we're going to have farmsteads over here, obviously over here, together with the mill. Maybe we're going to put the manor next to the mill as well. We could frame the mill in a fence, but I don't think we want to do that. We're going to have some farmsteads over here, and then over here I would like to have the biggest settlement, quote-unquote. Obviously, it's not a real settlement, but the biggest settlement in Valbrun over here, entirely because this is so close to the river. If there's anything that will resemble a settlement, it would be roughly over there. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with markets yet, you know? Because obviously we're not actually going to have a central settlement, and that is, well, really necessitated to get any type of market like this. What I'm thinking is, maybe we will have 1 or 2 market stalls at every lone farmstead just to make it visually appealing. But the longer I think about that, I'm not really sure whether that's going to work out for us. We'll see. Anyway, let's do the very same thing right here. We put the camp all the way over there. We need, of course, first a forest economy. Let's put the forest stuff over here. I think we're gonna have this a bit, you know, far away from the actual main road here. Not that the main road is all too big. Right, we're gonna put all these down, and then a saw pit will be nice as well. Let's lead in some roads right here. There we go. Now we just gotta connect this up. I think that should be okay. After that, we obviously need yet again the hunting camp and the berry gatherers, and I would really like to hide these in the forest itself. Then we are going to lead them out of the forest, you know, maybe with a bit of a winding road here. I always like when we kind of do it like this. There's not really any elevation changes, but it'll just look a bit better. Anyway, so that means we have that. It also means we need a tannery, and that means boom, Bob's your uncle, right? I think that is everything we want to do right here. You can see we have the humble beginnings of these regions. And man, I really am looking forward to these maps, clearly showing some dotted, you know, landscape right there of some farmstead here, some farmstead there, but nothing too significant. Even this is really, really rural, but look at how many buildings there are everywhere. We want to have this even slightly less. We're not going to have a single thing, not even like this tiny Rundling, which, by the way, I do like how this came out. I think the Rundling technology that we have developed here over the course of these series, yeah, I mean, we are Rundling guards at this point. I even like the way, in particular, how the backyards turned out. We did these slightly rounder because we had a backyard, you know, a guidance road, basically. And just take a look at that. It looks a bit more unique. I definitely like it. Man, it's good that we are building these as sparsely as I'm doing it here, because keeping track of 2 regions simultaneously, that's a lot of work. Very, very nice to kind of cut down on that. Let's start gathering some food here. Yeah, if I had to do more than I'm already doing here, I think I would lose my mind. There's just so much kind of divided attention that I need to pour into this. Can we interact with this? Oh, we can! I can just rebuild this. That is so cool. Well, then we're gonna obviously... it even has a granary already! Oh, you know I'm gonna do it right here. And you know that I will be putting the market right here. As close as we can. You know, now I'm throwing this away. We're not gonna put the settlement right here at all. I thought we couldn't rebuild this. I thought it would just be a ruin. We're going to have this basically be very bountiful fields, but way more importantly, all the way over here, we're going to, you know, have our manor, have, of course, the market, and there you go. That's beautiful. All right, I have now set it so that the saw pit currently owns the ox, making it so that we should surely, very early on, get our planks. Remember, we need those planks to upgrade the hitching post. That is the standard move that I make these days. You can see it right here. And then we also needed to actually build the church. So those are the 2 priorities that we really have here, because after that we can just start building our villages and things will be fine. I'm not sure where we're going to put the manor here, by the way. I feel like you kind of want to put it into this central area. Mostly because, well, this isn't an important road, but if this area ever becomes important, then surely protecting this path right here is in our interest. So having a bit of a, you know, a fortification right there should be quite beneficial. All right, there you go. We got the small stable. Let's get them working. Let's get another ox. And wow, you guys are worse. Valbrun is working way more slowly than Ainou right here. All right, there you go. Ainou already has enough planks, which means we can throw out the ox right here. Now, where do we put the church? Let me think about this, right? Ainou again, probably going to have the manor somewhere along this road, maybe up here. Not sure about this yet. We could put the church... There's not really a natural connectivity. There's nothing over here. This road does lead in here, but there's basically just forest. I think that probably want to have a church right here. In that case, you can even see it in this direction, right? In this case over here, the church would probably be somewhere here. So out of sight, out of mind, which means we're not really cluttering up the space with too many churches. I'm going to go ahead, yeah, and build this church in Ainou. Do we have some nice elevation? Oh, we actually do have some great elevation. We're going to place it right here. That looks ideal to me almost. Look at that. I really like to frame them there with the forest. You know, that's always a that's always a nice thing to do. Let's lead a path in there, and obviously we're actually going to split this. We're also going to have one path go into this direction, as this will become pretty central. Now, once we have that church, we will be in a position where we can just start building our village here, and Ainou is going to be well on its way. Very, very nice. Now, let's take a look at you. You need to start getting some of these. We got a woodcutter's lodge. Yep, let's assign all of them. I'm gonna leave the forester's hut, currently unassigned. Also, this one. Hunting camp, alright, you already got somebody. What about the forager's lodge? Let me take a look. There you go. Let's gather some food. Let's get this going. I feel like these are sister regions, except Ainou is far ahead. Ainou is nailing it. Valbrun, for whatever reason, is maybe that's where all these slow folks ended up. They got burned down there once and were like, hey, I'm gonna go back. That can't be the brightest of the bunch here, huh? Oh, and we got some bandits. Where the hell are you? In Ainou. God, you suck. Yeah, I think I was able to stop them from burning stuff down, but obviously it's gonna take a moment here before my actual troops arrive. You can see now we are at the stage where, yep, it takes them a while to gather, which... it's just pathfinding, you know? Pathfinding is gonna be a bit of an issue going forward, which is why I really want to finish off the fights against the Baron, so that we stop kind of stepping into that trap where they just keep going back and forth. Essentially, things will be fine as long as we don't have to fight. In general, our peasants don't have this main problem with the pathfinding, but obviously fighting becomes a bit bothersome with how things are. Take a look at that, yeah. They need time to disperse now as well, as they essentially wait, hey, when will I get my command for pathfinding? And, well, these folks got unlucky. And oh damn, look at Ainou. Jesus Christ, the church has already been built. They are fast down here. That's crazy. Okay, let me think about this. We don't need any more planks, that's fine. We got plenty of logging camp. I'm gonna get you out of that so that you can go build right now. You can see we have a good woodcutter's lodge as well. What we are going to do here is pretty clear to me. We're going to open up by placing down... Oh, you know what? Can I actually place down the manor? Oh, you need initial buildings. Right, of course you do. That makes a lot of sense. Alright, let's actually start placing down some settlements then. Where do you have fertility? Because this region right here, for what it's worth, absolutely sucks. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm not going to put down fields even if they suck. I 100% will. Be afraid, okay? You will be working the worst possible ground. And I put this church exactly where we maybe should have put some fields. That's okay. Let's place some fields down, and then we're going to orientate our actual settlements around those fields. I'm going to place you down right here. 0.5 Morgan, that's okay. We get rid of one tree. I can live with that. I'm going to surround this church, actually, with fields right here. There you go. Should frame it quite nicely as well. And then, yeah, why not another field over here? So that means that we want several, not sure how many, and I gotta change the shape of this field to actually be a square once this homeless encampment is gone. But hey, it is where it is right now. It doesn't really matter. We're going to have some settlement right here. Maybe 4 houses, so that is going to be a pretty big settlement, all things considered, you know, compared to what else is going on. I do want at least one field over here, but I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna have some micro fields right here, and we're gonna make them square. This will be a super, super isolated community here. I think we... How do we do this? I think if we do it like this, we can get rid of the least trees. Oh, look at that. I think that is going to be great. We're going to put the housing maybe here and maybe there. But we're going to figure that out as we go. Now, this is not good land, but I still want some fields just to accompany this territory. And normally I, you know, essentially plot it out like this. So along the road, I'm going to kind of change that up here. We're going to do it like this, and we're going to do 2 of them. Oh, that's a bit wide. You know what? Like, it's not actually wide, but it's wider than I want it to be. Right, and then on this side, and I want to really make sure that we do not catch that tree. That should do it. We're going to do a long field that starts actually right here. That should be golden. Let me just verify. Let's not cut down this tree, okay? Whatever you do, leave the tree alone. I think... Yes, okay, that works. There you go. Okay, so we got some fields there as well. I would like another community right here. Like I said, all of this territory is really bad. But hey, these are adventurous settlers. They are the heroes, really, of this territory here. Settling the worst land possible. God bless their hearts. Let's do a small field right there. Oh, I like this. I think this is such a neat little concept to have a region that legitimately is just farmers. We're gonna actually do very, very small fields right here. Like so. so that we can let the ground recover more frequently. And then down here, oh, you gotta do this one. I mean, come on. Here I would like it if we could do it like this. Yeah, that sounds good to me. Okay. I really want to keep the character of this forest alive. Like, I don't want to, you know, take too many trees down. I think this should be okay. That is such a weird field shape. I can't do that. Not with good conscience anyway. Let's instead just do it like this. We're gonna have one square there. I think that's completely acceptable. I would like, and by the way, what the hell is this? They need to connect the roads, actually. What is that? Let's put another field like so. Oh, like so. There you go. So that means we have one community here. One community right there. One there. One there. Okay, that's a lot of communities already. Which now means, for me, no fields here. I think we're going to have some, you know, forest dwellers in this general region. But I think I'm now only going to do a couple more fields in this general vicinity. We're going to go along the main road, because this main road will obviously be protected. It will be a very safe location, which is great news for the farmers. Yeah, I think this is one of those regions that will grow more attractive with time, because you can see it right here. We do have some good spots, right? This is a lot of green land, but it is currently in the forest, and we don't really have the manpower, at least that is how we roleplay it, to really free that land. For the time being, we're just gonna leave that alone. Now, that does give me a general idea of where I want houses. Let's take a look at this. I would like to have a house. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're going to put 2 houses essentially along a road right here, right? This is gonna come out like that. And then we need some guidance roads. I keep forgetting that I need to do that first. I'm gonna place you... How about this? Looks good to me, okay. And then over here, we have a wide open space. We're gonna have a relatively big farmstead, I feel. So let's just take a look at that. We're gonna make this just one. This is... Oh, you don't get a single backyard? Seriously? Okay, what if I do it like this? No backyard. Come on, man. If we could have a backyard here with one, but... Okay, apparently that's just not gonna work for us. Let's do it like this then. That's completely acceptable. And then a smaller cousin right over here. Yeah, I like that. That's nice. Now we can get rid of these guidance roads. There you go. So that gives us 2 houses right there. I think I would like to see something in this general direction. Let's place down a couple of guidance roads as well. Don't want to have it too far away from the, you know, general road here. But still, some distance can definitely help in making this just look a little bit better. Oh, the bandits. Right. I was like, what is that corpse field over there? We just fought bandits here. Makes perfect sense. Alright, so that is going to be 4 houses. Relatively big houses. Listen, these are lone farmsteads. We call them Einzelweiler. Now, normally they would be surrounded by the fields directly, but I think in Ainou itself, we're gonna split that up. We're going to do the more traditional variant over here because we just have more fertility. Here we are really just bowing to the land, right? I am building according to whatever is even viable in the first place. Also, let's not forget, we need a well. Ooh, I would like a well right next to the church here. That sounds perfect to me. And then I'm already going to plan out the remaining houses. I'm gonna do actually one more traditional one, like that. There you go. And then, how about one that is a bit less traditional, much like we've done it now the whole time here. I think for right here, I'm going to just align 2 houses directly like this. I think that is gonna make a lot of sense. It's literally just, you know, in that kind of thing. Like in that kind of very same directionality right there. Where do we put... We could even put one more house there. You know what? Maybe I'll just actually do that. Let's see what that looks like. This is a bit of a different style. We are following the square stuff of the fields here. And the general square shape that is, of course, very attractive about the general plots. Now, down here, I really want this to follow the forest. Even if it means they don't have a backyard. I think that is okay. I want to see what it looks like. If it is even possible. If you place down a plot like this. Does that work? Oh, it doesn't really. I think we're gonna have better luck over here, though. This should allow me to have a plot like this. Let's take a look at that, right? I'm gonna place you maybe even facing that way. Okay, no backyard, but I will take it. And I'm actually gonna make it so that there is a road going all the way in there. Alright, I think that is gonna be pretty cute. Surely I can just have a building here as well. We can even keep it square. The elevation here is not that dramatic of a change. Let's do it like that. Looks good to me. All right, place it down. And now that we've placed all of these might be almost all of the buildings that we're going to do in terms of actual housing. I don't think we're going to push it that much further in Ainou. I would like to experiment here maybe with some actual forest dwellers, because if we do beekeeping, right? Well, you better have some bees, and you better have a fella that lives where they live. This will be restored, by the way. They've cut it down quite a bit there, but I haven't employed a forester yet. Obviously, we're going to fix that. All right, so I think we have planned out where things go. Oh, look at that. It's so nice. Just these individual pieces all around. Again, we're going to restore this piece of forest. Yeah, I think I like what we did in Ainou here. Now, here in Valbrun, it's going to be a bit different, but we don't even have to plan that yet, because we are in a position where we haven't even done the church. Oh, I can actually do that now. The small stable isn't even finished. What are you guys doing? You know, that kind of sucks. Okay. Jesus Christ. You guys are doing nothing here. Why are they so lazy? I can't explain it. We're going to put the church, I think. In this case, we're going to put that church very, very near the actual main road. Slightly elevated, maybe all the way over here. I want this one to be visible, right? This one is the pride of the region. This, of course, goes into the mill. I was playing with the thought of putting it here, but this is lower. I think we're just going to get a nicer view if you have the church over there. These are, like I said, incredibly rural areas. So these distances are completely acceptable, I think. You know, I really wish that I could do this in one fell swoop, but hey, an upgraded retinue is an upgraded retinue. And you know, here in Ainou, what do we do? What do we actually do with the market? I feel like for the time being, I might just stash it right here. I think like having a cute little market here doesn't really do anything negative. Obviously, maybe kind of weird to have it close to the church, but hey, if you're going to put it anywhere, this is where you will be safe. This is where you will have civilization, so I mean, why not, right? I do think now that I look at it, we're even going to put a farmhouse here so that this, well, again, it's not actually, right, a proper civilization right here. There's no actual settlement here. But this should make it feel as central as it basically is, right? This is the most central location in Ainou as a whole. So I think we're doing the right thing here. We do need to upgrade all of these as well, but hey, for the time being, let's just build them. Set some of these to a high priority just so that they really focus in on them. What do we have over here? As long as you don't go under 30%, I am going to be happy. Have you built your church yet? How are you doing, pal? You're getting there. Good luck. And oh my god, in Valbrun, we have now finally also built this wooden church, which means we're going to start planning out the actual houses here. I am also going to go ahead and actually put a temporary market square right here. We're going to move this, don't worry about it, but I need them to pick up some stuff, you know, in certain locations. What we're going to do here is we can actually follow proper Einzelsiedlungen. So these, you know, they were quite literally just going around, hey, where's the best land? I will put the fields around my house. And that is exactly what we're going to do here. So, for example, in this location, I'm going to lead us in. I don't think we're even going to do a circle here. That's fine. Like, we're not going to, you know, prep ourselves in a way where, for example, we have a small rundling. Instead, we're just going to have one farm, one burgage plot right here. We're going to turn this into just one house. Hey, we're going to have some big housing right here. If you have no competition for space, then, well, yeah, this is exactly what happens, right? Let's maybe do a bit of a road. No, that looks terrible. And then now that we have that, we're going to go ahead and place the fields around this. I think basically like so. There you go. That's what I'm talking about. I'm going to do the same, of course, over here. Yeah, sure. That's okay. And then directly in the back up the hillside here. Why not? Looks good to me. So we now have this teeny tiny thing. That is his land, that is his fields, and, well, you know, it's a lot of work for just one family, or, well, two families, technically, but they're gonna get it done. I will assign the farmhouses, of course, in a sensible fashion. Let's put a well over here, by the way. I need these people to be relatively happy. Not very, but at least relatively happy, and I'm gonna place down houses much like this one all over the place, giving it a unique character compared to what we, for example, have here, where we put down the fields directly at the road, and then the houses so that they fit in. that is not what we're going to do here. We're going to do it, like I said, slightly differently. Yeah, check that out. I'm drawing some roads down here in the south so that we can then set our connections up. I think this is going to... Yeah, look at that. That is great space right here. Obviously, we're going to have a bit more density in this region. So let's let them build. Yeah, look at that. There you go. We're going to have several burgage plots right here. All independent, all with their own fields. There you go. Took me... What is this? Why won't you snap? Alright, now as for fields, I'm going to make these pretty long. But I want them, yeah, to actually align here. Again, these are rather big. I think these farmers right here, you know, with the proximity to the mill, with... you know, as much space as they have, I think these are going to be the wealthier farmers compared to some of the other farmers, especially in Ainou. They will just be poor. I'm sorry, but there's no way around it. Your life will suck because you settled in the worst area. I mean, you are better at building. Remember, in Ainou, they really built up everything very quickly, but that doesn't change that your land just kind of sucks, pal. Oh, and would you look at that? Ainou has reached the small village level. What is your beneficial thing right here again? You actually have wild animals, I see. I definitely want beekeeping and advanced beekeeping in both of their areas. I don't think we're going to go with anything else here. But do we go for forest management or trapping? Since they do have animals, is trapping influenced by that at all? Like, by how many animals do you actually have? Doubles the amount of meat harvested by hunters. See, I would really like this, but... you know what, actually, maybe I'm going to invest 2 points in Ainou into trapping and advanced skinning, and then only 1 in beekeeping. And the advanced beekeeping is something that we only do in the other region. Yeah, I don't think we care for that. I think more meat is more meat is more meat. So for starters, let's go with trapping, because that is the industry that we already have. Can't really be mad at it, huh? And look at that, Ainou has already made it to positive approval right here. And, well, time to beat up Hildebold, I guess. How often do I need to teach you this lesson, old man? Are you serious? This is all you're bringing to stake your claim? Huh. That's not gonna cut it, pal. Interesting. I did notice that the battle is actually happening down here. You think I can be cheeky and be like, claim this with influence? And we will have 2 battles for 1? That sounds pretty convenient to me. Oh, the battles are actually in different locations. Okay, that's kind of funny. And I actually think I can do 2 for 1. By the way, since I didn't build a storehouse, I actually kind of have a bug. Well, it's not technically a bug, but I think I may have to resettle Valbrun, which shouldn't be too difficult, but I think I screwed that up royally here. Ainou is going very, very well, but basically this guy, since he cannot store the pelts anywhere, he just doesn't hunt anymore, so we don't have any food. And I'm probably gonna see all of these families leave, and then I will have to hire new ones. Don't worry about it, we got the money, but yeah, that's kind of weird. Anyway, we have 2 battles for 1 here, I think, so I am both defending and attacking at once, which, well, that's a great side, huh? Look at him go. Easy peasy, folks. 1 battle is over. The other one is still going. I guess I'll wait until they show up with another army or something. Oh. What? Is he giving me 4,900 bucks? Is he gonna... What's gonna happen here? Is he gonna take over territory? No, he wasn't. Okay. Okay. He just paid me that money to end a battle that I had already won. God bless you. Yeah, maybe managing these 2 regions at once was not the best idea. So far, nobody is left. I'm sure they're going to do it soon. If they all leave, again, I'm just going to resettle with the infinite money that was just gifted to me. At least Ainou is doing well. Look at them. 64%. Wow. Very impressive. Good for them. Alright, now for Valbrun, the perk that we're going to pick up here, yeah, it's forest management and then both of these. So we're going to get more berries and then indeed better beekeeping. I think that is the direction that we do want to go here. Unless they leave us. Let's see how that goes, okay? Listen, I'm going to give it to Valbrun. They are resilient. Nobody left. The whole time they were starving. And nobody left. Good for them. I'm going to go ahead and, yep, have one employed there, and there we now do have this market. We also have a storehouse and a granary, so this shouldn't be an issue anymore, right? The whole leather thing, that entire arrangement should be good to go. Where did I put the tannery? Right there. Okay, so tannery is also working. Obviously, we're going to wait for migrants to kind of come in. Now that we actually have the supplies, you can see right here, our happiness should go up and we should be golden. Somebody also literally just pointed out, hey, wait a minute, by the way, level 2 desire right here, you know, we were trading for linen here in Eisenkirchen. You don't need linen for level 2, you need shoes, clothes, and cloaks, so I changed this here in the pack station. We now trade for shoes. That should be golden. At least some shoes should keep us happy enough that nobody leaves, and yeah, I mean, that is the goal. Are we doing okay, by the way, when it comes to our overall management? Our food isn't looking too great. How are we doing here on flour and grain? Looking okay. Do we have nobody? Oh, do we just have nobody hunting? And we do, but not enough, huh? We do have enough charcoal, so I think I can probably take 1 or 2 people out of this right here. And then these 2 are instead going to be working, yeah, in the hunting camp and in the forager's lodge. There you go. We don't need market stall. I think that is okay. We're also doing completely fine right here. Yeah, I think we are golden. All right, so let's take a look at this right here. We are almost already done with these 2 regions because I don't really want to push it too far. We now have all of these burgage plots right here. I think we have all the burgage plots we ever want in this region. Obviously, I'm going to... There are several, if I can find them here, where I actually want to still upgrade them, right? We want to upgrade them to house more people. But I think we are done in general when it comes to the amount of burgage plots that we are building. We're currently just waiting for Ainou to fill up. Then we're going to upgrade some houses to level 2. And after we've done that, we are effectively done. We just need to place more farmhouses in this general region. Of course, you know, start building up backyard extensions, and that is it. In Valbrun, we are a bit further away from, you know, being completely prepped. You see, we haven't settled any of this very beneficial land. Obviously, we're going to be doing this, but we're going to do that in the next video. So we're going to finish these regions in the next video. Right now, we have a different character for this right here. You can see right here, these are all lone farmsteads that, you know, essentially, eventually will grow into one community here. I think this is probably going to become the eventual hub of Valbrun, if indeed ever the economic focus shifts into this region. We're going to start building up the farmhouses here as well, and then we're going to have these regions finished. But I want you to take a look at that. You can see this right here, right? Take a look at this region, take a look at that region, and you can tell the difference between Ainou and Valbrun. Now, as we go here, I don't think we're going to have any export-import relationship in these areas, except maybe if we produce anything special right there. But my goal here was primarily to produce, you know, a couple of regions that are rural, that will stay rural, and that are also fundamentally isolated. They just aren't that important. And that is exactly what we've done right here. Let me take a look at it from this angle. Yeah. Oh, I like that a lot. Again, we are missing out on the farmhouses so far. But you can really tell there is no singular village in this area. These are all just lone farmers, Einzelweiler, taking control of their region bit by bit, farm by farm, field by field. I will be putting down manor houses for both of these actually. And I think the manor houses here will also house the marketplaces just because I don't have a more natural space where I can put them. Oh, that is... Wow, I am, seriously, mad respect to Valbrun. They really went through the ringer. Now we're golden, and none of them left. In the meantime, Ainou already is collecting, you know, plenty of migrants, which is, of course, absolutely excellent, because it does mean that I can keep going here. We can keep setting this up, and sooner rather than later, we will have both our actual forest economy and, of course, the farming economy going in this territory. We can shut down all of this going forward. Yeah, I think we are looking at a great outcome right here. Very much exactly what I had in mind. Again, we mostly need to settle this region as well with more farms and denser farms, I think, in this region. But other than that, Ainou and Valbrun are effectively already done, which means our big project here in Selbitz can begin once we finish them in the next episode. Very much looking forward to this. This is gonna be crazy. Anyway, I will leave you right here. My god. Whew, okay. I can't believe that Valbrun actually had nobody leave. These people are the most loyal folks that I've ever seen. Folks, let's take a look at this from a close-up perspective as well. Yeah, look at that. Oh. They are so far apart. It looks relatively close on the map, but ultimately it really isn't. Can we see the church from here? I can see other houses down there. Quite far away. I don't think we can see the church even. Folks, I will leave you right here. We have built up a rural district. Well, 2 in just one video. And with that, I will see you later, alligator.